yes. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? Wednesday-ish. Wednesday. Yeesh. Happy hump day. Whoop, whoop. Yay. Yeesh. Yeesh. All right. Audio's working good. Are we live on the X? Yes, we are live on the X. Are we live on the Twitch? Yes, we are live on the Twitch. Good, 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 good. Goody, goody, goody gumdrops. Yes, sir. That's good. It's good. Yeesh. Is it good? I don't know. You tell me. It's good. It's goody, goody, goody. Goody, goody, goody. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday, and I hope you guys are doing good. Right now, we're just getting the announcements out for the streamy. You know what I mean? The streamy. Yes. Yes. The stream. The stream. It's the shows. Yeah. All right. Let's get this over here, Bob. All right. Let's get everything set up over here. Boom. Right there. Boom, boom. All right. There and there. All right. There we go. Bop right there. Bop right there. All right. Get this over here. All right. There we go. Get that going right there. All right. And then get this over. Yeah. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a looky over here. Let's get this shared on the Yobe Tubes. Yeesh. Boom, right there. All right. Get this shared on the X. Let's get this shared on the X. Boom, right there. All right. Let's get this shared over here. All right. Okay. There we go. All right. All right, let's get the intro started then. All right. Ahem. Yeesh. Me. All right. What's up, guys? It's Double Nicks, and welcome to another episode of Microcap Mornings. I am your host with the most. They call me DBL Nicks in the house, a.k.a. the Rainmaker. And I am here with the lovely Serengeti specialist herself. She likes to hang around the tall weeds and the high trees and the low seas, hitting them high knees. Sometimes she likes 2 cups of coffee. Other times she likes to jet ski. Other times she likes to regular ski. Other times she gets caught out the cannon and she goes, whee! Other times she likes to go to RBs and watch videos of puppies and kitties. Other times she likes to go and watch the stock market. And other times she likes to go and, she likes to get into the stock market and find them ABCDs. She did call some wonderful stocks like ADTX, ATPC, and DRCT. We call her DBL Moms. All right. Hello, DBL Moms. Hello. Say hello to people. Yes, hello to the people. Good. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, That's what we're doing right now. We are just chilling. We are just chilling like villains right now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let me get this over here. Bop, right there. Boom. Get this put in. There we go. All right. There we go. There we go. And also, there we go. Right there. There we go. All righty. So, that's what we got going on, folks. So, let's take a look at some stonks, ladies and gentlemen. We called the all right, but before we do, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, folks. Sharing is caring. And, of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that's what we got going on. Let's take a look at some stonks here. We called quite a few stonks today. We called, for example, ADTX ADTX. Oh, someone was asking for the link in Twitter? Oh, I didn't? I could have sworn I put it in. I'll put it in again. All right. Hold on. Let me put it in again. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Called ADTX. It went up 90%. 90% right there. All right. Yeesh. All right. All right. All right. ADTX went up 90%. 90% right there. All right. Hang on just a second. Hang on 1 second. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. So we got that all fixed up and ready to go, all set up. We called ADTX. ADTX did a video on it last night, and it ran up a nice 90%. Did a video on ADTX last night, ran up 90%. ADTX called it last night for the private Discord and made a video on it last night. Ran up 90% right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, got that going on right there, ladies and gentlemen. We got that going on right there. We got it like that. We got it like that. That's what I'm saying. I says we got it like that. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, as of now, all right, and Legal says good morning. Hello. Hello, Legal. Hello. How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Yes, that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. Actually, I'm going to share the ADTX video as well. Might as well share that video. Yes. 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 Yeesh. So, that's what we got going on right there, folks. That's what we got going on. All right. Hold on. There we go. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. There we are. Okie dokie. And let me get this over here. Bop. All right. But yes, we called ADTX on our private Discord as well as on the wonderful, wonderful on the YouTubes. We made a video on it on the YouTubes. We called on the private Discord. Did that whole thing right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. ATPC, by the way, ran up to 93% so far. 93% ATPC. We called ATPC earlier this morning, I believe. Yes, earlier in the morning, and we actually called it last night as well. It ran up a nice 93% right now. 93%. There we go. ATPC. ATPC. Called it last night and this morning on our private Discord prior to its 93% run. There we go. ATPC. I mean, I should take a look at ATPC. Speaking of, let me take a look. Bop right there. All right. Yeesh. So, got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. ATPC looking schmexy. Yeesh. All right. 1 second. ATPC. Alrighty. Boom. Right there. Right there. Bop. There we go. All right. So, yeah. Called ATPC last night and this morning on our private Discord prior to its 93% run, and we called DRCT as well. DRCT, which ran up a nice 54% right there. Also, it seems like VYNE is coming in. So let me take a look at VYNE. VYNE has a float of 33 million, volume of 5 million. Looks like it's having a major little price spike going on right over there. Gapping up right there. Moving up on low volume. VYNE currently ran up 76%. VYNE ran up 76% on low volume right now. So needs volume to really keep climbing right now. But right now it ran up a nice 76%. 76% right there. Looks like it's pulling its way back down a little bit because, again, the volume is 5 million. Float is 33 million. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. VYNE needs more volume for it to be so much mexy to me. Let's take a look at ATPC. ATPC has a bit of movement so far right here. A little bit of movement. Has an A to B, B to C, C to D right there. And then has a bit of a pennant bop right there. So you got that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. ATPC needs to break above the pennant. ATPC needs to break above the pennant for it to remain so much mexy to me. Needs to break above that pennant for it to be so much mexy to me. 9 EMA seems to be diverging away from the VWAPA. It seems to be moving up above the VWAPA quite a bit. So it needs to kind of make its way towards, well, the VWAPA either needs to make its way towards the 9 EMA, but the two need to kind of converge a little bit. So hopefully ATPC can continue to go up, break above that little pennant right there for it to be so much mexy to me. Otherwise, it's just man. And we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. So ATPC currently has a 49 million float, volume of 157 million. So it does have the volume to counteract the float right there, which is good. That's very good. Currently, ATPC is now 85%, ran up a nice 93%. So we'll see what goes on. We shall see what goes on with this stunk right here. Let's take a look at DBVT. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at DBVT. DBVT currently went down a little bit right over MIA. Boom. All right. And then started to curl just above the VWAP right over MIA. Right over MIA right here. broke above the VWAPA, so we got that going on right there. Yes, so yeah, that's what we got going on right there. DBVT does need some more volume, though, I will admit, because it's 33 million in terms of float. Volume is 790,000, so right now, don't really trust this one. Needs more volume for it to really be so much mexy to me, but did break above the VWAP. So DBVT curled off the down trend and broke above the VWAPA. There we go. Boom. Looking good. Looking good. All right, let's take a look at ATPC. ATPC currently still in that pennant right there, up 88%. Needs to break above the 93% mark. Actually, let me get some support and resistance lines over here. Bop and bop right there. Let me get this over meow. Let me get this a little bit bigger over meow. Right there. There we go. All right. So you got support at 16 cents, has to break above 17 cents, and then 18 cents for it to be so much mexy to mya, but needs to break above 17 and 18 cents. There we go. There we go. Yeesh. So as of now, ATPC needs to break above the 17-cent mark, needs to break above the 18-cent mark for it to really be schmexy to mya, has to hold above 16 cents for it to really be schmexy to mya, has to break above that pennant though, so has to break those lines of resistance. ATPC must break those lines of resistance for it to be so much schmexy to mya. There we go. All right. There we go. ATPC needs to break the resistance as well as that pennant right there. Let's take a look at VYNE. VYNE moving up, has news that Vine Therapy. Oh, yes, bottom tail green as well. Yes, does have a bottom tail green. Yes, VYNE has to break up. Is above the VWAP. VYNE needs to. Yeesh. Okay. All right. So VYNE still moving up. Needs to break. Yeesh. Still moving up. Needs more volume for it to be so much schmexy to mya. Has news that Vine Therapeutics shares are trading higher after the company announced it entered into a definitive merger agreement pursuant to combine with Yarrow Bioscience right there. Yarrow Bioscience. Bioscience right there. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. So VYNE currently doing its thing. And we will check out another stunk. Let's check out another stunk. Let's check out YCBD. Let's see. That's CBDMDA Inc. That has unconfirmed Q4 earnings due in 13 days. That's what we got going on for the stunk right here. That is what we got going on. Currently above the VWAP as of now, but needs more volume, ladies and gentlemen. So as of now, YCBD needs to stay above the VWAPA. All right, and then VYNE, let's take a look back at VYNE because apparently it's moving. VYNE climbing its way on up right now, still climbing, still moving, still grooving. Let's get some support and resistance lines over here. Bop right there, bop right there. All right. Let's see here. Has to break above the 73-cent line for it to continue to be schmexy to me. Is at 79 cents right now. So we got that going on right there. It is testing the high of day. So right there. That's what we got going on right there. VYNE testing the high of day. Testing. Yeesh.
I can't have no fun.
No.
No fun for me.
No fun for me either. I know. I felt it. I felt that. Yeesh. Yes, I know the song. Testing. Is this mic on or what, man? Yeesh. All right. So currently it just broke. Oh my! It's pushing. It's up 82%. 82%. Very nice. Up 84%. Very nice. Very nice. Breaking through the high. Up 84%. Very nice. All right. VYNE. VYNE. Breaking the high. Breaking the high. Up 84%. Very nice. Up 84%. Very nice. Has a bit of top tail. Not nice. Not nice. Needs to break. Needs to get more bottom tail. Needs more bottom tail. Needs to not be like my neighbor Nusultan Tuliakbay. Needs more top tail. Yes, very nice. Very nice. Yeesh. So, great success. All right. We have fun here. Yes, we do. All right. Has to break above the 75-cent line for it to continue to be schmexy to me. Yeesh. All right. Let's take a look at YCBD. Why CBD? Why CBD? Why CBD? Oh boy. Currently a little bit choppy, but it is peaking above that VWAPA. Why CBD peaking above that VWAPA? Why CBD peaking above the VWAPA? Yes. Need to continue to break through there to be so much schmexy to me. Yeah, sure. All right. Very nice. I like it, yo. I can't say that. It's nice. DBVT. Let's take a look at DBVT. Still climbing. Has a bit of a red candle over here, but can it turn into a green? Maybe we'll see what happens. But DBVT needs to break above the. Actually, it is above the VWAP. Needs volume to stay above the VWAPA. Yes, sir. All right, so DBVT needs volume to stay above that VWAP. Needs some volume because DBVT as of now is 800,000 in terms of volume. Float is 33 million, so we need that to kind of just not be a thing there. That needs to not be a thing. All right, let's see about another stunk over here. VYNE. Oh my. It broke the high just a little bit. It broke the high. Yeah, it's piggly wiggling. Moving up 76%. It's 76 cents. 82%. 82% on news that Vine Therapeutics shares are trading higher after the company announced it entered into a definitive merger agreement pursuant to combine with Yarrow Bioscience. So, you got that going on right there. Has to break above the 76-cent mark. Has to break it to remain schmexy to me. Yes. It is a little bit overbought on the other side. A little bit overbought. Yes. It needs to climb up and get a little bit of an old model Jackie Wah. All right. You know where that's from. You know where that's from. Yes. We have fun here. And we learn about stunks. All right. VYNE climbing, though. Climbing its way on up right now. Climbing. Slowly I turn. Inch by inch. Step by step. All I'm saying, VYNE, is I try to get out, but they pull me back in. Yeah, I watch a lot of movies. Yeesh. I watch tons of movies. Oh, very much movie. Yes, very nice. Very nice. Okay. So, let's take a look at ADTX. ADTX. Let's get to ADTX right here. ADTX below the VWAP needs volume to break above the VWAP. ADTX needs to break above the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. All right. All right. So, we got that going on right there, folks. That is what we got going on for ADTX. Let's take a look at BEAT, BEAT, BEAT. Let's take a look over here. BEAT is kind of curling its way on up. Bot right there. Bot and bot right there. Climbing after that. A little bit of curlage right there. Testing the VWAP, but then not doing much there. It's currently trying to test that VWAP with BEAT. Curling off the descending wedge, but needs to break that VWAP right there. So BEAT curled off the descending wedge. I accidentally put 2 E's instead of 1 E. It said wedge. Yes, the wedge. The wedge. Yes. All right. The wedge. It's curling off the descending wedge and testing the VWAP. Can it break through? Let's see. Let's see if it can break through, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if it can break through with BEAT. BEAT. All right. Let's take a look at another stunk right now. All right. ATPC. How's ATPC doing? ATPC fell below the pennant right there. Not looking too schmexy. Formed a bit of a descending wedge, though. So we got that going on. Has to stay above the VWAP, though. ATPC needs to stay above the VWAP and break the descending wedge. ATPC needs to do that. VYNE, how's VYNE doing? VYNE still above the VWAP, but needs volume to stay above the VWAP right there. So VYNE needs volume to stay above the VWAP. And let's get a share party going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the 500. Let's get the 500, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. All right, all right, all right. AKN, ACAN right there. All right. Broke above the VWAP just a little bit. Had a little bit of a move over here. Boom, right here. Let's get this over here. This little graffiti pencil. Bop right there. All right. Oh, right there. Oh my. Oh my. There we go. All right. So, AKN had a shot upward over here. A little bit of a pennant right over Mya. Right over Mya. Right? Then curled its way on up right over Mya. Broke above the VWAP temporarily. And then kind of just started moving back over Mya. So, currently needs to break above the VWAP, needs to break this pennant for it to be somewhat schmexy to Mya. All right, so that's what's got to do. AKAN has unconfirmed H1 earnings due in 13 days on the 30th of December during market hours. So AKAN needs to break the pennant and the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to Mya. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Now, I think there are some stonks that are being requested of me. Oh, yes, there are. Yes, there are. Hold on. Let me get to the little interface. Yes. All right. Somebody requested ADTX again. All right. Let's take a look at ADTX. ADTX. Still below the VWAP right now. Still below the VWAP at $1.89. Very, very consolidated. Not a lot of volume. ADTX. ADTX. Not a lot of volume. Needs to break the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. There we go. That's what we got right there. All right. Let's see. What else we got? What else we got? Let me add them. ONDS. Somebody requested ONDS. 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 Low volume. ONDS. ONDS. Low volume. Very low volume. Low volume on ONDS. Needs to break the pennant, also needs to break the choppiness, and needs to break those indecisive wicks right there. It is above the VWAP. I will give it credit for that, but it is still looking like kind of trash. So we got that going on right there. And let's get a share party going on. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 600. Let's get to 600, ladies and gentlemen. Let us get to the 600 mark right there. Very nice, very nice. All right, let's see. ONDS low volume right there needs to stay above the VWAP and break the pennant. Bop right there. Boom, baby. There we go. That's the stuff right there. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 700. And ladies and gentlemen, remember to check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different. And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loots, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right. There we go. And, of course, let's take a look at some more stonks over here. Hold on. There we go. All right. So let's take a look at VYNE, because now VYNE is up 90%, 91% now. 91%. Can it eventually become a bagger? We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, VYNE just broke the high, up 91% now. VYNE broke the high of day, up 91% right now. 92%, 93% right now. 93%. There we go. Excuse me right there. Yes, sir. All right. So, as of now, VYNE up 93%. 93%. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. VYNE, Vyne Therapeutics shares are trading higher after the company announced it entered into a definitive merger agreement pursuant to combine with Yarrow Bioscience there. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Yes, sir. It looks like it's testing the high once again. It's trying to test that high a day once again, poking at it curiously. Right there. VYNE up 93%. Hit that high at 93%. All right. So let's see what happens with it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see what happens. All right. So let's get a share party going on. Let's get to 700. 700, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Let's get to 700. All right. Now 93%. Testing the high a day. VYNE. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Show me some schmexiness. Show me the schmexy. Come on. Show me that schmexiness. Come on. Come on now. Alrighty. It's trying to test that high a day. VYNE trying to test the high a day. VYNE testing the high of day once again. All right, so we'll see what happens with it. We shall see what happens. Watch me take my eyes off of it, and then it just starts going up again. All right. DBVT, DBVT. Let's take a look. DBVT still moving up, still above the VWAP, but very choppy as of now. DBVT needs more volume. Needs more volume. Choppy, but above the VWAP. So you got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Boom, right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, how's VYNE doing? VYNE up 96%. There we go. 97%. There we go. There we go. See what happens when I take my eye off of you? Now you want to go up to 98%. Look at you. Look at you. Wow. Wow. VYNE. VYNE up 98%. Broke above resistance once again. VYNE broke above that resistance once again, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. Very good. Very good. All right. All right. What else we got? What else we got? Let me add them. Let me add them. Let me add them. VYNE climbing slowly but surely. Watch me take my eyes off of it once again. It tries to go back up some more. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's see. What else we got? What else we got? Let me add them. Let me add them. Okay. So, let's see what else we got over here. So, we got over here ATPC. Let's take a look at another stonk over here. Let's take a look at another stonk here while we're waiting. YCBD, that was requested of us to look at once again. YCBD currently curling above the VWAP right now. Still curling above the VWAP, up 44%. YCBD is curling above the VWAP. YCBD curled above the VWAP. Looking good, ladies and gentlemen. Looking good. Let's see how it do. Let's see how it do. All right. Let's see what else we got. Let's see here. Somebody requested DBVT. DBVT. All right. All right. All right. All right. DBVT still consolidated above the VWAP. DBVT consolidated above the VWAP. There we go. Boom. Right there. That's what we got going on. Consolidated above the VWAP. Not looking schmexy as of now. Somebody requested RR. Very choppy. Very, very choppy. Low volume. I can tell just by looking at it. Low volume. Very choppy. Not looking too schmexy right now. Not looking too schmexy. RR. Very choppy and low volume. Sporadic. Not a stunk that I personally like. As of now, RR, not looking too schmexy. So we'll see what happens. Let's see what else happens right here. Let's see. Oh, let's see how UGRO is doing. UGRO. Let's see how UGRO is doing. UGRO climbing its way on up. Looks like it's on low volume. Has unconfirmed Q4 earnings due in 13 days from now on December 30th after the market closes. Let's take a look at the float. Float is 8.1 million. Volume is 3.1 million. So the volume is lower than the float. That's what we got going on right now, but it is moving up on some low volume. So UGRO, UGRO, moving up and breaking VWAP on low volume. That's what we got going on right there. Let's get a share party going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a share party, share party, share party. Let's get to 1,000, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to 1,000. Come on now. Come on. Come on now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah. All right. Let's see how we're doing here. How we do. How do we do? Let's see here. Yes. UGRO is currently climbing above the VWAPA. We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens. Let's take a look at RGTX. RGTX currently curling above the VWAP as well, but on low volume, very gappy. But RGTX, very gappy. Very gappy, but curling above the VWAP. I will give it that. RGTX, gappy, but curling above the VWAP. Now, whether it stays that way, I don't know, but that is what we got going on for RGTX. RGTX, let's see how BEAT is doing. How's BEAT doing? Let's take a look back at Beat. Beat is currently still moving up a little bit, but has a bit of a double top forming right over Mia at the $4.17 mark. Has to break above that for it to be schmexy to Mia. There we go. BEAT needs to break above that double top. All right, let's see. BEAT needs to break the double top for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get that share party going. Let's get to 1,100. And be sure to check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different, and the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yeesh. So, that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. All right. So, let's take a look over here. VYNE. How's VYNE doing? Nope. VYNE. VYNE consolidating a little bit more, moving back downward a little bit. It is currently above the VWAPA, but it is a bit overbought in the RSI, so it kind of tracks that it's, moving downward a little bit. But can it break through? Can it break that little descending wedge right there? We'll see. We'll see what happens with VYNE. VYNE needs to break above the descending wedge for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. There we go. All right. There we are. Let's take a look at ATPC. ATPC, still needs to break above that VWAP. Still holding above the VWAP a little bit. Needs to break the descending wedge, though. ATPC holding above the VWAPA. Needs to break the descending wedge. Needs to break above the descending wedge right there. All right, so got that going on right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, CGTL. How's CGTL doing? Looks like it's moving on some low volume right there. Let's take a look at CGTL. CGTL, doesn't look that good, really. I mean, it's moving up on low volume, but that's really it. Broke the VWAP and moved up on low volume. So CGTL broke the VWAP and moved on low volume. So that's what you got going on right there. PCSA popped and then dropped. Not looking schmexy at all. PCSA needs to break above the VWAPA for it to be so much schmexy to mya. There we go. Boom. Right there. Otherwise, not schmexy to mya at all right there. Let's take a look at Open. OPEN. Fan favorite of the people. All right. Open is a bit consolidated as of now. A little bit consolidated right there. Needs volume. Needs a lot of volume to break this little pennant right here and hold above that VWAP. So Open, as of now, needs volume to stay above the VWAP and break the consolidation right there. There we go. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1200. Let's get to 1200, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Let's get to 1200. Let's get to 1200, 1200, 1200. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So let's see what else we got over here. Let's see. Somebody requested RZLT. RZLT, low volume, very choppy, not looking schmexy to me. RZLT, low volume, very choppy, not looking schmexy to me. ISPO, this one, let's take a look and see what's going on there. ISPO moving up on low volume, broke the VWAP on low volume as well. ISPO broke the VWAP on low volume. So we got that going on right there. Needs more volume for it to be so much schmexy to me. Let's take a look at the news here. Inspirito shares are trading higher after exclusive investments announced that it'll acquire the company for $4.27 per share in cash. So they got that going on right there. That is what they got going on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So let's take a look at something else. Somebody requested BEAT again. So let's take a look at BEAT. All right, so BEAT did move up a little bit right over here and then kind of just started to drop right below the VWAP. So as of now, BEAT needs to curl back above the VWAP and the descending wedge. There we go. All right. So as of now, BEAT needs to break above the descending wedge and needs to stay above that VWAP right there. Looks like it curled up a little bit above the VWAP, but it still needs to break that red candle and become a green. Needs to be greenable, baby. Needs to be greenable. Otherwise, not schmexy to mya. There we go. So that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see what else we got over here. What else we got? Let me add them. Let me add them. Let's take a look at YCBD. YCBD currently had a little bit of a movement up above the VWAP, but then kind of curled below the VWAP. Let's see. YCBD, can it break the descending wedge? Can it break that descending wedge? YCBD, can it break the descending wedge and the VWAP? Can it break it? Let me see. So, let's see what we got going on here. What else do we have here? What else do we have? Let's take a look at AMCI. AMCI, boom, right there. Somebody requested AMCI, so let's take a look at it. AMCI not looking too schmexy just from the percentage alone, down 21%. Not feeling too schmexy about AMCI. AMCI currently, needs to break that needs to break the VWAP and also needs to break the downtrend right there. Has a bit of a downtrend going on. Had a double top right over MIA right there, right? And then needs to break the downtrend over MIA right there. So it's got that going on. It's got to do. That's what it's got going on. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. So AMCI needs to break that downtrend. Needs to break the downtrend right there. AMCI needs to break the downtrend for it to be somewhat schmexy to me and the VWAP. AMCI needs to break that downtrend and the VWAP for it to be somewhat schmexy to me on. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1400. 1400, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. Come on now. Let's take a look over here. What other stocks do we have? Somebody requested ONDS. ONDS curled up a little bit. Curled up just a bit. All right. Little bit of a curlage right over MIA. Until it became a bit of a event that was So right now, ONDS shot up to $8.26, but then had a bit of a double top, went back down, needs to stay above the VWAP, and needs to break that double top right there. So ONDS as of now needs to break that double top for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Let's see. ONDS. There we go. All right. Let's see what else we got. CGEN, CGen, Compugen Limited. Let's take a look at it real quick. Up 12%. There we go. That's what we got going on right there. Yes, sir. All right. So, up 12%. Up 12%. Had a double top. $76, or excuse me, 76 what was it? $1.76. Excuse me, not $76. That'd be ridiculous. I was thinking about something entirely different. All right, so $71.76. It hit that double top right there and proceeded to form and consolidate along the VWAPA. So CGen needs to break above the VWAPA and break the consolidation. Yes. So got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. All right. So let's see what else we got here. What else do we have? What else is there? What else is there? What else is here, there, up, down, and everywhere? All right, let's see how VYNE is doing. VYNE is the only one that's still moving up a little bit. I hope it's doing good. But VYNE is currently testing the VWAP, but not in the good way. It needs to break above the VWAPA. And yeah, needs to break above the VWAPA. It looks like it's falling back down. Needs to stay above the VWAPA. Needs to break that descending wedge right there. So, as of now, VYNE needs to hold above the VWAPA and break the descending wedge. Yes. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1600. Let's get to 1600, ladies and gentlemen. But, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different. And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So we got that going on right there. Yes, sir. On right there. Yes, sir. ATPC. Let's take a look at ATPC. See how ATPC is doing. 49 million float. Volume is 184 million. So ATPC. ATPC on a downtrend. Yeah, so ATPC currently on a bit of a downtrend. Fell below the VWAPA. That's what we got going on right there. So ATPC fell below the VWAP. ATPC needs to break the downtrend and the VWAPA for it to become somewhat schmexy to mya. Otherwise, it be like that. You know what I mean? Jelly bean. Yes, sir. All right, let me get the stretch in. Ooh, that is the stuff right there. Ooh. There we go. We'll get that good stretch. You get that little cricky. Oh, right there. That's the stuff. Ooh. There we go. So, ATPC currently up 68%. Needs to break that VWAP. Needs to break that downtrend for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. Otherwise, it's just, man. You know how it gets, ladies and gentlemen. You know how it gets. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 1600. Let's get to 1600, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now. All right. Let's take a look here. Let's take a look-see. Somebody requested BEAT. All right. A little bit of a look-see, and someone requested BEAT. All right. There we go. You see? All right. Now, it looks like there's a wedge that is descending, while to top it off, you have, it's not exactly like a bird where it's ascending, you know what I mean? So right now, BEAT needs to break above the descending wedge right over mya for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya right there. All right. BEAT BAT. Let's see here. Can it break above the VWAP? Let's see. So, as of now, BAT, not looking spicy. Let's take a look at ASST. ASST, very barcodey, very below VWAP. Not a lot of volume. Needs to break the volume and the VWAP. ASST needs to break the VWAP and gain more volume for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. BYND. Let's take a look at BYND. Also very, very choppy, very barcodey, not looking too schmexy as of now. BYND barcoding needs volume. There we go. There we go. All right. So as of now, BYND needs to break above the lovely little barcoding because it has a channel right here. Actually, as a matter of fact, let's take a look at that right here. Got channel time, it's channel time right here. All right, there we go. So, yeesh. As of now, BYND needs to break the consolidation. Needs to break that for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya, because it is very consolidated, very, very barcoded. You know how it is, ladies and gentlemen. You know how it is. Let's take a look at KULR. KULR. All right. Let's see about KULR. Currently consolidated just above the VWAP, consolidated along the VWAP actually. So we're going to actually put that in there. KULR. KULR consolidated above the VWAP. So got that going on right there. All right. So, as of now, KULR has news that their shares are trading higher after the company announced a joint development collaboration with a battery cell manufacturer to co-develop battery backup units for AI-scale data centers and high-power compute environments. So, got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, as of now, not looking schmexy. Needs volume. All right. Let's take a look at another stunk here. Let's see here. Let's take a look at CGC. Let's take a look at CGC, see how it's doing, ladies and gentlemen. CGC, there we go. CGC. All right. Currently, CGC not looking schmexy, really. I mean, it's moving up a little bit. I'll give it that. It is moving up above the VWAP just a little bit. No, I will give it that. I'll give it that. I won't hate. I'll give it that. But it does need a lot of volume. So CGC needs a lot of volume for it to be somewhat schmexy to mya. Yes, sir. So CGC needs more volume. All right. to remain friends with the trend. All right. So, as of now, CGC currently, meh. There you go. So, as of now, CGC had that going on right there. Had that going on. Let's take a look at ISPO. How about ISPO? ISPO. Moving up on low volume, ISPO has an 8 million float, 5 million volume, so it's looking good. All right, so as of now, currently, ISPO needs to stay friends with the trend right here. ISPO. ISPO needs to remain friends with the trend. Yeesh. All right. Let's take a look at ADTX. ADTX. All right. So, ADTX currently, as of now, below the VWAPA. Needs volume to break above it. Needs some serious volume, but it is showing something slightly interesting. It is showing, hold on, let me get the brush right here, a little bit of a cup and handle pattern. You see that? A little bit of a, let me actually make this green. Actually, you know what? Something that stands out here. I'm going to make it yellow. There we go. Forming a bit of a cup and handle right here, if you notice, right? And then from there starts to fall back here, forms a bit of an ABCD pattern right there. All right, so ADTX float is 559,000. Volume is 13 million. So ADTX has a good volume, but a very low float. All right. So as of now, ADTX needs to continue to climb in order for it to be. Let's see here. Currently, it is trying to curl ADTX, trying to curl and maybe test that VWAP right there. ADTX, ADTX, trying to curl and test the VWAPA. We got 2 minutes till the bell. Got 2 minutes till the bell. The bell! It deafens me. All right. Like a little stiff, you know what I mean? Ever get like a little stiff and you just gotta stretch? It's like, you're like, oh, that's the stuff. Now you gotta feel like limber and stuff like that. There we go. That's what we got. Yeah. Let's get a share party going, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to 2,000. 2,000. Let's get to 2,000. 2,000. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, ADTX. ADTX. Let's take a look at ATPC. ATPC. All right. So, as of now, ATPC. All right. So, as of now, ATPC is doing its thing here. Still on the downtrend, but testing that VWAP. I will give it credit where credit's due. It's testing that VWAP, but it is still on that downtrend. So right now, not feeling too schmexy about that one. ATPC, the bell just rang. It made the ringy dingy. It made the wee woo. Yes, sir. All right, ATPC right there. ATPC needs to break the downtrend. Consolidated along and testing the VWAP right there. All right, so let's see what we got going on, folks. Let's see what we got going on. All right. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. 1 second. Yes, sir. Let me get some water in me real quick. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. All right. Let's get that share party going. Let's get to 2,000 right there. All right, let's take a look at some stonks over here. ATPC currently still on that downtrend, needs to curl. ADTX, let's see how ADTX is doing. Broke the VWAP. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Yes, sir. Right there, ADTX shot up, broke the VWAP, and is on an uptrend right now. All right, ADTX broke the VWAP and is on the uptrend. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right. Still climbing its way on up. ADTX climbing its way on up right now. Let's get some support and resistance lines over Mia. All right. All right. So as of now, ADTX still moving, still grooving, still doing its thing, right? Needs to continue to stay above that VWAP. Right now, though, it is forming a top tail. We don't like the top tails. We like the bottom tails, ladies and gentlemen. So, ATX, you need more volume. Let's take a look at DBVT. DBVT. Hold on. ATX needs more volume. Needs more volume right here for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Let's take a look at ISPO. ISPO. There we go. ISPO still kind of consolidated as of now. Has news that they're trading higher after exclusive investments announced it'll acquire the company for 4.27 per share in the cash. So, yeah. All right. So, as of now, let's take a look at the All right. So, as of now, ISPO currently needs to break above the pennant right here. It is a little bit consolidated as of now. So ISPO above the VWAP, but it is consolidated. ISPO consolidated needs to break the pennant for it to be so much maxi to Mia. All right. So as of now, we already did ISPO. Let's take a look at DBVT. DBVT. Who's calling? Who's making the ringy dingy over there? And no. All right. No. All right. So DBVT had a nice shot upward. Has news that DBV Technologies shares are trading higher after the company announced top-line results from the Phase 3 Vitesse trial met its primary endpoint. All right, so we got that going on right there. DBVT needs to break this little pennant right here for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. DBVT. Let's get a share party. Let's get to 2100. Let's get to 2100, ladies and gentlemen. DBVT needs to break the pennant. Broke the VWAPA. And yeah, that's what's got going on. Yeesh. Let's see here. Let's see. Hold on. A little bit cold. Let me get my jacket on. There we go. Okay. So, what else we got? DBVT curling up off the pennant right now. Curling above the pennant. DBVT curling above the pennant. DBVT curling above the pennant. There we go. Curling above the pennant. So, that's what we got going on. So, as of now, DBVT and went back below the VWAP. Not looking schmexy there, but let's take a look at AKAN. ACON broke above the VWAP. Look at that. Look at that big old uptrend on low volume there. Actually, no, high volume. The volume is higher. The float is 728,000. Volume is 11 million. So AKAN, and you know what I mean? All right. AKAN needs to break the needs to really remain friends with the trend. Remain friends with the uptrend. That's what needs to happen. It needs to remain friends with the uptrend. All right. So, all right. So, as of now, just chilling here. AKAN, you grow. Let's take a look at UGRO. UGRO above the VWAP, but not by much. Needs volume to stay above that VWAP right there. UGRO needs to stay above the VWAP for it to be schmexy to mya. There we go. Yeesh. So, yeah. There we go. Alrighty. So, UGRO currently needs to stay above that VWAP. UGRO needs to stay above the VWAP. Right there. All right. Alex Martinez says, ACON breaking out, AKAN. Let's see how AKAN is doing. Yes, it is. It's moving up. Shares of cannabis-linked stocks are trading higher following reports suggesting that President Trump will sign an executive order that will reclassify marijuana to a Schedule III drug. Weed. Yeesh. So, it's got that going on right there. That's what it's got going on. It is currently doing its thing right there. AKAN. Yeesh. Not really. I mean, AKAN is doing good, though. AKAN is doing good. Yeesh. So, AKAN is moving its way on upward right now. climbing nicely, AKN on the uptrend on some good news. AKN on the uptrend. Bop right there. All right, let's take a look at YCBD. YCBD had a bit of a double top, but did curl. Had a bit of a curlage going on over here. All right. So, as of now, YCBD, Oh, actually not really, but it does have a double top over here. So YCBD does need to break that double top right there. Needs to break that double top. YCBD needs to break the double top for it to be somewhat maxi to mya. All right. So, that's pretty much it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, folks. Sharing is caring. And of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different. And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you want access to our private Discord, yes, remember to check out the link in the description down below, pinned comment section. You get access to all sorts of cool things. You get access to amazing tools like the Market Mover Scanner, the Newsroom, both of which have hyperlinks that allow you to learn more information about the stocks or articles that you are reading. They're very, very informational, very, very useful. PCSA currently doing its thing right now. But, yeah, that's what they got going on right there. That is what we got going on. You also get access to the stock ticker tape, which shows all the stocks that are currently, being kept an eye on right there. You know what I mean? Being kept an eye on. All right. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on, ladies and gentlemen. We got that going on. So you can find us on our YouTube channel at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. You can find us on where we do lots and lots of live streaming, lots and lots of video making. We actually did a video on ADTX last night prior to its 90% run. So you can find that there at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money, we do lots of live streaming, lots of videos, lots of stock reviews, stock analysis, and shorts on YouTube at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. And of course, you can find us on x.com, aka Twitter, where we go live there as well and do lots of stock reviews and all sorts of other good stuff there at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. You can find us on what else can you find us on? Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. All right, and you can find us on Twitch, where we do lots of live streaming at Coaching Money. At Coaching Money. You can find us where we do the TikToks, Tiki, aka the Tac. The Tac. You can find us there at DBL Nicks. At DBL NICKS, and the screen name is Coach Nick Money. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for me. Much love. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys at 1:30 for our wonderful show, Power Plays, with the Coach Meister General himself, looking at the stock market just before Power Hour, reviewing the stocks, giving his honest thought processes on them, and then to top it off, yeah, he's just doing his thing there, doing some Fortnite after that. Once, letting them stonks simmer before the Power Hour. You know what I mean? The Power Hour. The Power Hour. Yes, sir. So, got that going on right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we got going on. All right. So, yeah. That's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, much love. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day. Also, remember that you gain access to an amazing community when you join the $9.99 for the first 4 days trial for the real-time alerts and scanners, you get access to the amazing educational community as well. So be sure to check that out, ladies and gentlemen. So take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day. Be sure to check out that $9.99 trial for the real-time alerts and scanners. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Much love. It's Double Nicks. I love you guys. I'll see you at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Power Plays with Coach Nick Money, the Coach Meister General. Much love and peace out.